Namaste, Jai Bharat. An indisciplined man who borrows money from others, promises return on a stipulated time, date, who is not doing so for whatever reasons, and then would avoid meeting this man, and in time shall be annoyed or antagonistic to that man who gave him loan. Such people you call as characterless people, nothing else. Indisciplined, characterless people. And this analogy is applicable to Pakistan. They had been borrowing money. They had been borrowing money from all people, promising to return but never returns. Never returns. There are loans pending which Pakistan took from 90s or even before that. They took money, spend it, half they steal, and more than half maybe goes in the pocket of the people, those who are controlling Pakistan in authority as military officers and civilian government, both. And that money they wisely invest abroad. And after they're done with Pakistan, that's a word I should use. They're done with Pakistan, they go abroad. None of them have any sense of belonging to the nation, society, culture. These three they don't have. That's why no one has a sense of belonging to these three. They don't have these things. Today's situation is that Saudi Arabia entered into a deal with Pakistan, military deal, and when Saudi needed Pakistan support, they were giving excuses, that too lame excuses, and in effect, Pakistan never showed their face to Saudi Arabia. Nobody speaks to Saudi authorities. No army, no civilian government, nobody. They just hide, like the man who borrowed money, who tries to avoid you on the streets, unable to face. Same problem. Pakistan is unable to face Saudi Arabia. So Saudi had given them lot of money, and that Saudi is asking in time. First, UAE is asking. UAE is asking $3.5 billion, I suppose. 3.5 billion, which they have borrowed from UAE, which is overdue. All last date, everything is over. They had been extending dates. Some more time, we will return. But apart from saying that we will return, there is no question of returning, and there is no possibility of returning in vicinity. So that is a pressure on Pakistan. $3.5 billion. Then comes Saudi. So they have entered into a Saudi pact, a defense pact with Saudi, and 6.3 billion they have to pay back to Saudi. Saudi is asking that money. 6.3 billion. Should be dollars. I forgot not. So 6.5 billion to Saudi, and 6.3 billion to Saudi, and 3.5 billion to UAE. Pakistan had been skulking, and now comes their best friend China, and they speak in Urdu. Urdu means actually Hindi. There is no difference between Hindi and Urdu. I should repeat it. It's the same spoken language, written in Devanagari we call as Hindi, and the same spoken language written in the borrowed Iranian script, Persian script, they call as Urdu. This happened way back in 1800s during the Mughal rule. The reason that the Muslims didn't want to use the language, the script of language in which the Hindus Vedas and Upanishads were written. They are not holy texts, holy books, as people often say. They are knowledge texts. Knowledge texts. There's a difference between holy religious texts and knowledge texts. You can treat them as holy, that's up to you, but they are basically knowledge texts. Vedas are knowledge texts. Upanishads are knowledge texts. Itihasas and Puranas are also knowledge texts, though not that seriously as philosophical as Vedas and Upanishads. So we not necessarily that we should call them as holy texts. They are knowledge texts. If then you treat knowledge as holy, then of course they automatically become knowledge texts. So these texts are written in a script which we call as Devanagari. Devanagari, because we consider Sanskrit as Deva Bhasha. Here Deva is connotative, not denotative. That people should have some sense to understand. Make a distinction between connotative use of a word and denotative use of a word. That one should know to understand things better in a clear manner. So that time the rulers were Muslims, basically from Turkey, the Mughals, from whichever origin they are. Sometimes they were clear origins, sometimes very spurious origins. The people those who were educated there at that time were reluctant to use the script used by Hindus. So the same language they are speaking. These people are Hindi speaking people basically. Braj, Hindi, that kind of, lot of languages, lot of dialects are there under the big umbrella of Hindi. Audh is there, Bhojpuri is there, Maithili is there, Maghi is there, so many languages. We have Marwadi and many such languages. So they didn't want to use that script in which Vedas and Upanishads are written. That's Devanagari. What they did that time in the Islamic world, Farsi was the richest language with the rich literature. They had translated many Sanskrit texts into Farsi, Persian. So they used that script. And when the Hindus were going to learn Sanskrit, the Muslims, affluent Muslims, scholars, rich people, those who are affluent, were sending their children to learn Farsi, trying to juxtapose Farsi language to Sanskrit. This phenomenon took place in Bharat once upon a time. So they were writing the same spoken language in Farsi script, that is Persian script. Whereas Hindus kept writing it in Devanagari, that's our script. Same you find in Kashmiri, same you find in Punjabi. Muslim Punjabis were writing their language, same Punjabi language in Farsi script, and Kashmiris Muslims. Kashmir was a hub of Hindu Dharma, a hub of philosophy once upon a time. The text Raj Tarangini exposes everything, narrates everything. What is it to expose? That is reality. They started writing their language in Farsi script, that is Persian script. It was originally written in Devanagari. So they started calling it as Urdu. That's the story of Urdu. There is no language like Urdu. So these people, 6.3 billion to Saudi, they are asking, it seems, and I don't know how Pakistan is able to answer. They are not picking up phones, they will not face. They will not face. They will avoid the path and go somewhere else. They are just buying time. They are just buying time for their own tenure. After their time is done, they will go back to wherever they have invested. That's in some foreign countries. Mostly European, where they have all freedom which Sharia doesn't offer. For themselves, they don't want Sharia. For others, they want Sharia. Not for me, my family, my children. No Sharia. But for others, there should be Sharia. This is their attitude. Don't call it as a double standard. That is natural with these people. Not even double standard. In the meantime, in Urdu they were telling about China, Sagar se gara, deeper than the oceans, higher than the mountains. That's a kind of friendship Pakistan says that they have with China. We know that China is nobody's. China is nobody's friend. Like America is nobody's friend. There's a lot of things in common between China and America. That's they have contradictory relations, conflict and contradiction. Both wants others' property. So China had invested a lot of money in Pakistan, and continuously China was defeated. Cheating China is a great thing, because China, they invest and take your soul out, like Dr. Faustus. Take your soul out after investing money. They have done it to many nations. Why should I name Maldives, Sri Lanka, all fall in that thing. But Pakistan played double game with China. They played double game with themselves. Forget about playing with others. So they had this great corridor story, this thing, that thing. And Pakistan is supposed to protect and facilitate the construction of the road. Pakistan is not really interested. They want the money getting pumped into China, or pumped from China into Pakistan. But then Baluchis are against this. And Pakistan probably did not take serious steps to contain the Baluchi problems, at least in case of Chinese workers there. They must have not taken it serious. This is before the Baluchistan Pakistan conflict that's going on now. They did not take it serious, or they didn't want to take it serious. So China had invested money, all the money had gone to waste. Now China, if they ask 220 billion, I don't know if they really ask the 220 billion back from Pakistan, but if they ask, Pakistan has to sell out themselves to China. That would happen. So this is a condition situation in Pakistan. One question I would like to ask: who on earth asked you to become separate from Bharat? And your problem is then also Islam, now also Islam, and so long as you continue to be Islam, your problem will continue to be Islam. That's because, not maybe, I do not know. I won't say that it's a problem inbuilt, inherent in Islam. I do not know. I would say that's the way you have understood Islam. That's the way you interpret Islam. And that's the way you practice Islam. The other way, whatever is different from this, I am unable to speak. Rather, that's not my cup of tea right now. But you have understood it in this manner, which can't be true. Not quite likely. Which can't be true. The way I have understood is entirely different from this. But then there are inbuilt inherent problems that will cater to this kind of situations in psychology. So for the sake of these, you separated yourselves forcibly from Bharat, inflicting pain on others and yourselves, but you don't care about it. Pain on others, Hindus, you distanced yourselves from Hindus, and you started teaching in your right from your very low classes to your society. You are teaching them that Hindus are kafirs. Hindus are to be hated. India has to be hated. Yes, you had been teaching hatred right from lower KG. There it is, madrasa. All wonderful atmosphere to teach hatred. You had been doing it. You can now download ingredients from your religious framework about hatred. Yeah, you can download. They have been using all those things for these days to see this destroying yourselves. Choice had been yours, not ours. We shall meet again. Namaste. Jai Bharat, Jai Sri Ram.